From Scripps Sports, this is Bobcat Insider, sponsored by First Interstate Bank.
To be a Bobcat fan is to know heartbreak, and boy, through all that heartbreak, finally, Montana State has reached the mountaintop, and the 2025 National Championship for the Division I football subdivision is here in Bozeman with this trophy right here. And what does it take? What does it take to earn a piece of wood with this medal and this glass that reads National Championship here at Montana State? We're going to find out. We're going to talk with head coach Brent Vigen here in just a moment. He talked a lot last year about what more lessons this team and this program needed to learn in order to earn this thing right here for Bobcat fans and for everybody here across the state of Montana. We're also talking to Billings West alum Paul Brott, a legacy player. His two older brothers were at the game as well, along with his family. And we're going to talk to Paul Brott about what it took to grab this thing and bring it back to Bozeman as we get into a championship edition of the Bobcat Insider.
Take coverage of the Cats with you. Download our mobile app today. Welcome back to Bobcat Insider, sponsored by First Interstate Bank.
We are back on the Bobcat Insider following a national championship on Monday down in Nashville. Keaton Galogly alongside head coach Brent Vigen. Here we sit, that hard-earned trophy sitting right between us. You're looking at that piece of wood and metal right now. What does it mean to you to be able to look at that and earning that trophy together here for Montana State? Well,
it's certainly a symbol of finishing a job. And it's been a long, long time, many, many decades since Montana State's been able to hoist it. So to be able to get to the top of the mountain, I know it's been a goal that we've been after, and we've come up close, and close isn't what we're after. So, for this team to continue to believe and persevere and be resilient and to find a way, couldn't be more proud.
You take a look at this thing and just how hard was this? I mean, 5 years, 3 berths into the national championship. How hard was it to reach this mountaintop?
I think extremely hard. Each year presents its own challenges, new roster, new coaches, a lot of carryover at the same time. And I think that has been the what's brought us along, though. The foundation had been built. We built upon the foundation. We continue to get better and better each year. And it all culminated on Monday night. And that was in its own right very hard. It seemed like at some points we could run away with it, but it wasn't meant to be like that. And the other team, was outstanding. Illinois State played a game that probably was more along the lines of how they wanted to play, possessing the ball and keeping it out of our offensive hands and finding a way to continue to convert. So very hard. So I think when you understand that, the appreciation to get on the other side and call yourself champions is that much greater.
You think back to last year, one of the quotes I think really resonated with people was when you said, look, we obviously have another lesson to learn. I don't know what that is now. Now that you've gotten here through this, what was that lesson you had to learn?
Well, we're going to have a new team. I knew that, but I think our off season and the work we do, continuing to work between the years as much as possible. I know so much is made about lifting weights and the work we can do in Bobcat Stadium on the field and practice and all that, but maybe there's another layer of just intense work we needed to do to build upon our mindsets, and we did that. And I hope what shined through more and more with this team was the intangibles, was the strength that this team continued to carry through good times and bad times. And that is ultimately the mark of a champion is, not so much where you're at when things are going well, but where are you when things aren't going your way? How do you bounce back? How do you play the next play? All those things. So that was probably it. And it wasn't that those teams before weren't strong-minded. It wasn't that they didn't do everything we asked, but adding maybe another layer was what this team needed, and we worked very hard at that, and we're very intentional, but the guys were all about it at the same time. So our directive wouldn't work without them wanting to follow the directions.
All right, well, let's talk about this game specifically. That first half, I mean, Justin Lamson was darn near flawless. The want-to from Dane Steele and Taco Dollar on a couple of those runs. Chris Long had a big catch. Just watching that first half, man, it seemed like you guys were really clicking.
Yeah, I feel like we went in that game knowing the passing game would probably have to be our catalyst. That they would leave some space out there. Justin would have to be on, though. It's not as simple as the space being out there. It's about Justin being on. It's about the guys knowing where to find that space. It's Coach Sturbick dialing up the right plays at the right time. And then, our guys have been really good after the catch all year long, and that was certainly evident in particular in that first half.
Yeah, you mentioned Coach Sturbick making that play call, 4th and 10, sitting in overtime, knowing if you get the touchdown, you just need the PAT after that. Tell us about that play call. Kind of what are some of the factors you guys are go into making that decision?
Well, it ended up being a very similar call to the third down call. Third down, he threw inside to Jabez, maybe just a little bit on that back shoulder. We would have loved to make that play, but it wasn't meant to be. We called a timeout, talk through some things. We go out and line up in our formation. They call a timeout. And, I think through that time, I think Coach Sturbick felt very convicted that he had a good sense what they would do defensively and, ultimately wanted to give Taco a chance to get open. Taco was open on that third down play. Justin chose to go inside, and it's an inside-out read, so that's the way that goes. But they had a chance to talk through it. And when we went in motion with Taco, we had in motion on the previous play. It was apparent they were going to be in a man-to-man situation. And I think Taco knew he'd get open. Justin knew he'd get open. Taco knew Justin would put the ball out there when we needed to, and that's exactly what happened.
Now, even after that, though, still had to go out and execute a PAT. We know early on in the year at times there were some struggles there, but now here's Miles Sandstead sitting with 52 straight converted PATs over the last 9 games, and he drilled that thing right down the middle.
Yeah, that's not as simple as it looks. It takes a snap from Brody, a hold from Colby. It takes protection, and then Miles to have the confidence. And, while there was maybe a little bump in the road early in the season for Miles, I mean, he really straightened it out. He's been rock solid for what seems like months now, and, had complete expectations that he would put that through. And, again, the whole group had to do their job because if you remember earlier, we had one tipped at the end of the first half, and that was an inside protection leak. And, for those guys to learn from that and to get it done at the biggest moment, it does take all 11 out there.
And on the other side, kind of going back to that clock management, that head coaching kind of battle, once they had gotten that big play late around that 2-minute timeout, they're in field goal position. You're kind of feeling like, hey, one more first down kind of does it. How are you operating the clock versus your timeouts versus deciding and trying to figure out what they're going to do in those moments?
Well, wanted to give our offense a chance to get the ball back, and so using our timeouts at least on first and second down was what I did. And ultimately they end up in a 3rd and 5, and my thought process there was if we're in 4th and probably 2+, use it again and preserve all the time. But then it got to be a 4th and 1, and I suspected there was a good chance they might go for it. I know they were right in this spot where they probably felt comfortable enough to send a kicker out. They had just switched kickers in the semifinals, so knew that wasn't this absolute strength for them. So we call a timeout. They run the kicking team out. I think Jace, as far as get off and speed, was our best bet to give them problems there. The snap was a little low, and Jace got the great get off and made the play. So. Yeah, tricky situation. You're trying to give yourself another chance on the other side, and it went a little differently than I maybe thought, but we kept the points off the board. We didn't execute on that chance necessarily, but, I'm just glad it worked out the way it did.
No doubt. There's not a whole lot of analytics or stats that are going to help you navigate that. So, next up, we've got the trophy. We've got all this. Another year will unfold. How is this team coming along for next year? And I know you're going to dive right into some of the roster construction. So how do you kind of keep this thing together, and what can fans expect moving forward over these next couple of weeks?
Yeah, you go right to it. There's no rest for a week. I think everybody thinks we go on vacation. That it just shifts. It shifts immediately to the 26 team, and the guys come back for school next week. So a little break for them, which is great. We want to do everything we can to keep this team together. We graduate a small number, 9 guys, but some really impactful guys in that group. I think we've created an experience here that guys want to be a part of. That being said, there's opportunities out there at the same time. So battling that, as we speak. Recruiting-wise, we signed a really good high school crew back in December. There might be a little bit more high school recruiting through the end of this month, and we'll deal with, I guess, our issues as they come. But we do bring back a great foundation, and I think we proved last year in particular that some very good players might be on the way out, but we're going to figure out a way to build these guys up and put together a team that can chase another one of these things.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, congratulations on behalf of Bobcat fans. Thank you for all the hard work you guys do, and man, what a journey it has been. So congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for all you do, Keaton, along the way. On TV show, the radio, creating excitement for our fans that I know they truly appreciate, and we do too. Thanks a lot.
It's a privilege and an honor. All right, we're taking a break, and in just a bit, we're talking to national champ Paul Brott out of Billings here on the Bobcat Insider.
Welcome back to Bobcat Insider, sponsored by First Interstate Bank.
So much fun to hear from Coach Vigen, who has now thrust himself into the pantheon of great Bobcats after earning this national championship. Third time was the charm, as he earns his first national championship for Montana State in the third berth to the championship game. And boy, it was certainly not easy, as Montana State wins 35-34 in the first overtime game ever in FCS championship history. A guy who was a big part of that, big part of this program over the last 5 years, was the Billings native Paul Brott, who joins us after this.
Welcome back to Bobcat Insider, sponsored by First Interstate Bank.
Keaton Galogly back on the Bobcat Insider with national champion Paul Brott, rocking the hat. We got the trophy in between us right now. Look at this piece of metal, this piece of glass, this piece of wood. What's that thing mean to you?
A lot. I mean, I don't really have too many words for it right now, but I'm just so blessed. I still can't believe I got the hat on, got the trophy. It's been a great couple of days, and I'm just so happy to have it.
Yeah. What's it been like talking to your brothers, talking to your parents? What's it mean to them?
They're just so pumped up. I was giving both my brothers some crap, I'm not gonna lie. But my dad, he was crying, my mom was crying, and I just got to see so many people after the game, even ones I didn't know, just fans, and everyone was so pumped up. It meant a lot.
One of the great things about being here at Montana State is the passion of Bobcat fans, support of Bobcat fans. What's it mean to you to give this new generation their own national champion?
It's awesome. I'm so pumped up. I mean, when we won, I was just sprinting on the field. I still can't believe it, but I'm just glad that this is in the building, that we can raise a banner, and that there's a new standard again, and that we've just built so much for this teams over the years, and we finally got it accomplished. And so there's a new standard, new passion, all that.
Well, you have the most recent national championship in Montana State history. You have the most recent national championship in the state of Montana, and you've got the most recent national championship in the Big Sky. So congratulations on that. And it wasn't easy as we talk about this game right now. Give me just a sense of how hard this thing was to earn on Monday night.
I was telling people, I was like, that's the way this team would have won that game, is we're going to blow people out, then they're going to come back, then we're going to keep everyone on their toes. And it was a hard-fought win. I mean, I was on my knees praying when it was 4th and 10, and I, of course, freaking Taco and Justin make the play, but it was a team win. Everyone messed up, everyone made great plays, and then it just all came together because we didn't quit, and we just worked hard and we believed.
How would you convey the advice to the next generation of athlete when they ask you, how are you resilient? How do you live that good play, bad play, next play mentality?
That just starts with your habits. You got to have your habits match your goals and your work ethic match your goals. And so, like with Coach Vigen, he's a genius. We work a lot of mental training. We do something called the crux drill. I've talked about it before, but you have to think about the moment before the moment happens. And when something comes up, you have to minimize the situation. So you're just like, all right, if I get pancaked, which I won't, and you got to go on to the next play and just breathe and just keep going. And that's what we do, is just next play, next play, next play, good or bad.
Coach Sean Heron, strength and conditioning coach, a guy who won national championships at Carroll College playing football as well. What was his role in building the mental skills that it took to win this thing?
Coach Heron is beyond awesome. He is such a great coach. He's a great man, and he's pushed us to another level each year. And he does the mental training as well with us, and he makes sure the standard is set. He will not let anyone slack. He's a great man. He's a great coach, and this is a big part of why we have this now.
Yeah. Overall in this game, I mean, look, you're in a national championship game. There's a reason that other team on the other side is there. How good was Illinois State, man? I mean, they played tough. That offensive line looked grueling. How good were they? What was it like in the trenches against them?
I had a lot of fun. I think that was probably my best game I've played. You know, I wasn't able to pass rush too much. Now I can say that, my freaking ankle. But, you know, they're a great team. It was fun to go against them. They're all really respectful on the inside. I mean, we were talking the whole game, joking around, and fun to go against. The back was fun to go against. Their quarterback, he's a really good dude as well. And so it was a great team, great competition.
From high above the broadcast booth and the field where I was, the scene that unfolded was just gorgeous. First year, new chapter in FCS championship history down at Vanderbilt and in Nashville. What was it like from your perspective getting a chance to play a game of this magnitude in a stadium and in front of a crowd like that?
That run out was my favorite run out ever. I'm usually lagging in the back, but this one was like, holy crap, and I actually got going for once. And you know, it was very cool. Nashville was a great experience. Our hotel was probably one of the coolest places I've ever been. And, yeah, the atmosphere was sweet. I mean, I could point at the fans and then go, hey, let's go, and then everyone starts cheering too. So it's a great environment.
Yeah, so much fun to watch. You kind of mentioned the getting down on your knees and praying when Lamson threw up that thing to Taco Dollar, and then after that to go have Miles Sandstead boot that thing through. Two true freshmen, and Brody Johnson, Colby Froker on that special teams unit. Where were you standing as those guys lined it up, and how much confidence did you have in that unit?
I already knew we won. I knew we won. I mean, those guys, they had struggles at the beginning of the year. Everyone did on this team, and they corrected them. And so as soon as we scored that touchdown, I knew Miles and those three were going to do their job, and they did. We won. I was standing on probably like the 20-yard line or whatever, just looking at it, and then I just sprinted out there, ran over, congratulated, or said sorry to the other team. But, yeah, I knew we won right away.
You know, it's such a hoopla after a championship like that. They let the fans out on the field. They're doing the trophy presentation, all of that. A couple guys go and do media. But, you know, kind of later after that, and we were still on our post-game show, but we saw the team kind of get into the end zone. You guys were all circled up. You finally had that moment to do that, you know, that circle and that prayer together. What was it like once that stadium was empty, they'd cleared the fans off, and it was just you guys, and that being the last time that this team would be together as a whole before people went on their separate ways?
It was so special. I mean, I keep saying it, but this team, we fought through so much this year. We had to just bond with each other, and there's been so many ups and downs just trying to get to know people. And so this team is very special to me, and it was a great moment being out there with them.
All right, well, you have reached the end of your football career. You did something that very, very few guys get to do, and that's go out as a national champion and win your last game. What's next for you, man? What's going on here the rest of the week, and how do you kind of keep going forward in life?
Yeah, so for the rest of the week, I think I got my fun out these past couple days. But I might try the NFL here. I might not. I have to go get surgery at some point this week. And then if that doesn't work out, I'll become a strength coach or do medical sales with my brother or try to find a community health job. So
yeah,
get to lose the weight finally too. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, how different is your diet going to be? I mean, we saw Marcus Weir around too. He's dropped some lbs. Always interested to see that. So you excited to not have to crush as many calories as you usually do?
I'm so freaking happy. I hate eating food at this point. And Marcus is going to go back up if you're watching this, Marcus. But probably just have some grilled chicken, blueberry spinach, and then just try to just shred the weight. And then yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll help the ankle as well. Well,
yeah.
Paul, congratulations, man. What a ride, what a journey, what a career. You and the rest of these guys have been thrust into Bobcat legendary status. So congratulations, man. Very, very happy for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap it all up as Montana State gets to ride off into the sunset as the 2025 national champs.
Take coverage of the Cats with you. Download our mobile app today. Welcome back to Bobcat Insider, sponsored by First Interstate Bank.
Well, we finally get to say goodbye to the 2025 football season here in early 2026, and this thing right here gets to live at Montana State forever, just as the stories and the legends of this team will live in the mind's eye of Bobcat fans across the country after what was a magical run and a 14-2 national championship. Well, I appreciate you following along all throughout the year. Next week, we get to turn our attention to basketball. After next week, we will be heading into Cat Grizz basketball at the Brick, and I have no doubt that this thing, along with the Big Sky Trophy and that Great Divide Trophy, will be paraded around as we turn our attention to the hardwood next week on the Bobcat Insider.